This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to the Voice for Fitness Professionals podcast, where I share, usually, marketing and sales strategies so that you can create a business and a life you love without being salesy, pushy, or sleazy. And everything is somewhat turned upside down and inside out during COVID-19. But this is a very special podcast. For years, I actually addressed and talked to current students in kinesiology, health promotion, and the teachers, professors, senior lecturers who taught them, because I was one of them. And I completely understood what students thought they needed to know, what they really needed to know. And because I also not only had been a student, then was a senior lecturer for 15 years, and worked in the private sector as a personal training manager for years, I knew what I really needed them to know when I was the director. I had a unique perspective. And today, I'm really thinking about those of you who might be recent grads or even recently certified. This is for you. So you want a fitness career. If spring of 2020 was your last semester, supposedly full of parties, plans, and optimism, you have officially been rerouted. If you just passed your certification exam or are on your way and you're deep in studying or were, now what? It's a bit of an oh shit moment. So stop before I go any further. I want you to take a bow. I want to congratulate you. Stop and acknowledge it, especially if you didn't get to officially cross the stage and flip your tassel. If you just got that certificate mailed to you, even though that's what typically happens with a certification exam anyway, that job waiting for you may have disintegrated. But do not overlook the thing you just did. The world does need fitness professionals. You can't be healthy without exercise. And you can't have a strong immune system without exercise. Your weight loss or sport-specific program is not necessarily your best immune boosting program right now. And people need proper instruction from you now more than ever. So the difference that is now, fitness is forever changed. Not just for a few minutes. It's not going to help if you just worry and wait for things to go back, because it's not going back. It isn't what it was just a few short years ago when, say, you declared your major. It isn't what it was when you headed back to school after Christmas break. It isn't even what it was that time you were looking forward to spring break. So what's your plan B? Maybe you were a lucky one and you already were planning an online business or a hybrid one, part online, part in person. And yet even that is different now, because hundreds of thousands of your fitness training and health coach colleagues are now online too. It's crowded. There's more competition than ever. So what is the plan B if you still want a fitness career? I've got 3 main points here, and under each one of them, I've got some subpoints, so hang in there. But the very first thing I've got to tell you is don't blend in. You may be thinking, and honestly, I and a lot of my competition or peers, colleagues might also be thinking you have an edge if you're just coming out of school right now and you are 22 or 24. And that was very, very limited in thinking. So I realized you might be coming out of college and also be in your 40s or 50s or your 70s for that matter. So I just stereotype, forgive me for that one. But if you are in your 20s, let's go back, because still the majority of students are. you probably do have an edge where social media and comfort level on the internet are concerned. But I'm going to tell you this, don't blend in. Do not do what everyone's doing. You actually, if everybody else is zigging, you want to zag. That's easy in part to do what everybody else is doing because no one was doing this. And if you just follow the leader, it's the blind leading the blind, because someone was successfully established, say, in a face-to-face personal training business does not mean they will be successful taking that training business online. For one good reason, if they weren't there in the first place before COVID-19, they didn't believe online training was effective. If you believe that in your gut, that online training is not effective, you're going to relay that whether or not you're trying to. And no one is going to buy from you something that you don't believe in yourself. An established business with a track record is starting at square one, just like you are when they go online. In fact, the more conservative in set in habits and pricing and package structures, the more they use a script and stuck with a script that worked decades ago, the harder time that they'll have online. So you may have an edge, but not if you follow blindly somebody else. Don't blend in. You want to be distinctly different. Number 2, do homework. This is a big one. You have to set yourself apart, and you'll do that by doing foundational work. Know who you want to serve and know why. Know what their problem is. In their words, there are 3 big mistakes any trainer can make, starting with number 1, saying something like, I want to teach blah, blah, blah. Or, I want to use blah, blah, blah. Or, I want to be on blah, blah, blah. Fill in your favorite social media platform. So let's go through those mistakes one at a time. And this is a part of number 2, the step you need to take, doing your homework. So let's say you would say, I want to teach kickboxing, or maybe that's not your jam. Maybe you want to say, I want to teach yoga or Zumba, or here's a big popular one, I want to teach functional training. Okay? Nothing wrong with any of those except for this. If you start like this, you might have some success, but it's limited. So here's the truth. Someone has to be shopping for kickboxing or for yoga or Zumba or functional training first. And then you're going to potentially have a problem already, because who might be searching for yoga, for instance? Someone who loves it, right? And that could be an 18-year-old, could be a 50-year-old, could be a 70-year-old, could be a male, could be a female, could be an athlete, or could be a woman with hot flashes and stress. It could be someone suffering from depression and anxiety. And the same is true for Zumba or kickboxing, or fill in the blank, the thing that you want to teach. So starting that way can make it hard to write an ad or to email somebody. And eventually you're going to have to do one or both, most likely both of those, in order to be successful. So let me point out why that's hard. Don't you talk to an 18-year-old girlfriend differently than you would to a 50-year-old man who's, say, dealing with depression? So if you want to have a fitness career, start with one of those people and the problem that they have, so you can talk to them all day in a way that they will listen. So that second error, that second common problem was, say I want to use body weight. So that's what you want to do. That's your programs. Or you want to use TRX, or you want to use trampolines, or you want to use kettlebells. So you get the idea. Choose the tool that you love. That's what you're going to fill in the blank with. So I get it. I get that. Some tools are just plain sexy and they're fun and they're easily accessible. So you might be thinking, well, anybody can exercise at home, say with body weight. But I'm going to play devil's advocate. Body weight training, for instance, is going to eliminate anyone who has a shoulder issue, and it makes it really hard to do pulling exercises. Let's forget the person with shoulder issue. Unless you have, say, a swing set at home, you've got to have something there to do pulling exercises with, right? And then even then, I mean, how many people do you know who need strength can do a pull-up? So if you miss one of those most needed posture balancing exercises like pulling needed today, that'd be a problem. Should it be about the tools, or should it be about the problem somebody has? If you find somebody you work with is, say, over a keyboard much of the day, do you want them doing push-ups for their workout? Or if they need to improve in bone density, will body weight alone do it? So if you focus on a person with a problem, you can create a solution. And then you've got their attention. So the third of those mistakes was, I want to be on, fill in the blank with your favorite social media channel or platform, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I know so little about TikTok. You could probably take this from here. I won't talk about it. I'll just talk about being on it. But by now, you get where I'm coming from. And if you can pick the person and the particular problem you solve, the only platform you should care about is the one that that customer uses and loves. You may love TikTok and Instagram, but if your customer is on Facebook or LinkedIn is an even better opportunity. That is where you want to be. There is one universal platform no matter who you serve, and that is YouTube. It's a search engine all by itself. Video is where it's at. It is owned by Google, and you cannot go wrong with it. The only place you can go wrong is if you're not there. So get there now if you know you want a career in fitness. Well, wait, right? Because you can go wrong with it. You have to be talking to one person. You have to appeal to the wants and the desires of that person. You may know what they need, but they don't necessarily. So if they're Googling, they're putting in a message or asking a question, even if they think they know what they need, they don't. So you have to meet them where they are. That's the only way you can go wrong on a platform. You're going to message them in a way that gets their attention. That is always what you want to be doing. You're going to make your post something that, say, your ideal customer will envy or want or desire, resonate with. You've got to hate something they hate. You've got to love something they love. You have to pique their curiosity. You want to avoid being preachy, teachy, or condescending. Because if you want your content on social media to be shared and saved, which is going to help you get a greater reach, you got to make it something that they don't want to forget, something that makes them seem funny or smart or something desirable to their friends and family when they do share it. Make it something that makes them say, yes, or, I didn't know that, or I love this. Okay. So the third thing, we've covered two of them. Number one was don't blend in. Number two is do your homework. And number three is never give up. What you try the first time won't always work. What you try many times won't always work. You may get laughed at, told right now it's risky to want a fitness professional career. You might get told no for a loan or by a potential client, or told you're crazy by your parents, your friends, and still feel like, yes, this is absolutely what you're meant for and want to do. Don't give up. Surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to be doing, who can teach you and mentor you, and who have struggled too. I would be cautious about getting advice or taking it from only your university instructors, unless they've successfully run businesses. Take a good look at that and what I just said. It's really important that the knowledge you learned about the science of fitness can be taught from the research and from textbooks. But the knowledge about running a business can really only be taught from running a business and somebody who's done it. Anyone with staying power in business has struggled a lot. They've made a lot of mistakes, and they still believe so much in what they're doing that they learned how to make a good business decision over and over again. They learned how to be scrappy and save money and where to invest and where not to. So where do you turn for help when nobody has navigated this before, this COVID-19, this kind of pandemic that we're in right now? Usually success leaves clues. So if you follow someone who's stuck with it and created more than one business, they're usually the ones who can do it again. Make good decisions about following who you know is successful, not based on their social media popularity. There you have it. If you want a fitness career, there is still plenty of opportunity. It looks different, and you can do it. If you work with or you want women in midlife, you want to work with women in midlife. Wow, that almost became X-rated. The Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist is the first and the only hormone balancing fitness training that focuses on women in all stages of menopause. There are 46 million of them, and they are actively looking for support, even now, maybe especially now in COVID-19. The back end of the training that I provide with the Flipping 50 Specialist provides business support to launch and leverage your knowledge. Now's the time. I'll leave the link in the show notes. It's fitnessmarketingmastery.com/programs. Got a comment? Leave your comments below the show notes at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/want a fitness career. And there's a dash between each of those words. Whether you are a university lecturer, you're just a recent grad or a university student, you're a gym owner, you are newly certified or almost about to be fitness professional, personal trainer, health coach, let me hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear where you're at, what you're thinking, what's discouraging to you right now, and what gives you optimism. And I hope that this podcast episode gave you a good start toward optimism. The world still needs you.